This morning, our internal affairs division arrested one of our deputies, one of our own, Justin Lee. He's a 3-year deputy here at the Martin County Sheriff's Office, and was charged with tampering with evidence and giving a false statement in an official proceeding. Now, I'm going to start from the very beginning. A lot of that, what I'm fixing to tell you, is not evidence in this case, but it'll give you the background of how we got to this arrest. A couple of months ago, our supervisors were doing their job as supervisors and identifying anomalies, things that just weren't consistent with normal law enforcement procedures. And they noticed that Deputy Lee was making few traffic stops, sometimes only 2 traffic stops a night, but coming out with felony arrests almost every night. And everybody in Deputy Lee's chain of command, all the way through me, has been an experienced narcotics detective at some rate and knows that that's not possible. It's not physically possible. Really, narcotics arrest through traffic stops is a numbers game. So the supervisors, both the sergeant and the lieutenant, did their job, identified something that they thought was odd, and started showing up on Deputy Lee's traffic stops to see what he was doing. In one of those cases, they showed up on his traffic stop, and he had stopped the vehicle, not mentioned in this affidavit, but stopped the vehicle for a traffic infraction and was swabbing the outside of the car and telling his lieutenant that it tested positive for cocaine. The lieutenant challenged him on that, and Deputy Lee could not provide the swab and the positive test that he cited during that traffic stop, which was his reason to search the car. The lieutenant told him, "You're not searching that car. You don't have probable cause in my view," and that's not happening. Deputy Lee was actually borderline obstinate with that. Lieutenant argued with him and then complained later to a sergeant that lieutenant was second guessing him. Both the sergeant and the same lieutenant reviewed body camera footage, reviewed multiple case reports, and noticed a trend of overplaying his hand, meaning that while we encouraged deputies to be extremely articulate, he was overly articulate, almost trying to justify his actions as if he was trying to make it up as he went along. Those concerns were brought to me, and because we weren't sure what we had, I ordered an internal affairs investigation on Deputy Lee to try to figure out what exactly was taking place. Part of that investigation was interviewing some of these defendants, most of which were prostitutes that Deputy Lee had arrested for drugs. And in those interviews, our detectives that were doing the interviews learned from multiple females that the girls, had been on prostitution websites and had been solicited by Deputy Lee. Now let me be real clear here, because the details matter. We do sanction operations through the internet where we arrest prostitutes and perverts on a regular basis. So there is a mechanism to do that legally. But we don't allow road patrol deputies in the middle of the night by themselves with no supervision to go out and do this. These girls, multiple girls, provided text messages, screenshots of their interaction with Deputy Lee, and those case agents brought that information back to me. We reviewed it, and then we talked to the state attorney's office, and we asked the state attorney's office if they were aware that these previous interactions before traffic stops were taking place, and their answer was no. One case specifically where 2 girls were arrested, they're highlighted in this affidavit that I provided with you. They were arrested for drug possession after Deputy Lee says they committed a minor traffic violation, and he smelled marijuana in the car. Now, nobody had smoked marijuana in the car. It was an Uber car. The girls didn't smoke marijuana. They had crack cocaine in the car, and they argued back and forth with Deputy Lee. Our detectives went and interviewed those girls. They provided the screenshots of the interactions, what they said. They provided call logs of the times that he called, and they told our detectives that they had provided Deputy Lee with a tag number of their vehicle. So our detectives went, they did a deep dive in our system. They realized that prior to that traffic stop that Deputy Lee did on the car, he had indeed put that tag in the system and refreshed or run it 42 times prior to that car coming to his location where he did the traffic stop. Now fast forward post the arrest. He goes to the state attorney's office. Part of our legal process is a deputy makes a felony arrest. That's just probable cause. That case goes to the state attorney. The state attorney reviews the probable cause to see if there's enough to proceed with filing the case. Part of that is what they call discovery. A deputy or detective, any law enforcement officer, is tasked with providing all information, beneficial to the case, not beneficial to the case, all information about that case, whatever it might be. And in this instance, Assistant State Attorney David Lustgarten, who runs the Stewart office, brought Deputy Lee in. He had him swear under oath, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, which he did, and then they proceeded to do this hearing. In the hearing, Deputy Lee simply stated to Mr. Lustgarten that he stopped the car for a traffic violation, had never talked to the girls before, didn't know who they were, didn't know the tag number on the car, had never communicated with them on phone or text, and that interview went on and on with Deputy Lee lying to our Assistant State Attorney, who was trying to gather the facts for this case. Because of that, we called Deputy Lee in and put him on administrative leave. After that state attorney's hearing, between the state attorney's hearing and us calling him in, which is only a day's gap, Deputy Lee took his phone and replaced it, tried to wipe his phone. And you'll see again in that affidavit where he Google searched multiple times how to get rid of the information on your phone. If I get a new phone, does the old information automatically transfer over? He started Googling things like, and I'll read it, Florida State Statute, FSS means Florida State Statute, obstructing justice, Florida State statute making false statements, Florida State statute withholding evidence, Florida State statute evidence tampering, Florida State statute digital evidence tampering, Florida State statute perjury, Florida State statute prostitution, and Florida State statute official misconduct. And you can see now he's trying to hide the information which we already had about him having previous knowledge. He came in, he was placed on administrative leave with pay. We did seize his device, got a search warrant, went through the device, and we could see that he had tried to wipe that device prior to coming in. Through our investigation and all the things I just mentioned, we know now that Deputy Lee was ordering girls up online through these nefarious websites and then making up reasons to stop them and then place them into custody. And of most concern to us, not relaying that information to the state attorney so they do a proper prosecution of these cases. And so he's been arrested for the two charges I've told you, withholding or actually lying during an official proceeding and tampering with evidence. Now, I know I gave you kind of a mouthful of information. We can do a deep dive. I'll answer any questions about this case and try to make it make the most sense.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, basic, to put it as simply as you can, he was manufacturing felony cases that were not really legitimate?
No, and that's the nuance of this. The girls that were arrested were prostitutes and they were drug addicts. Where he was wrong in this was he didn't do it through our proper policies and procedures, and then in keeping with Florida statute, he has to give that to the state attorney, so the state attorney, the prosecuting attorney, can give that in discovery to the defense attorney and the judges so they can make proper legal decisions as to whether this was entrapment or whether this was legal what he did. He was providing a fraction of the information he had and then telling everybody that he was just a good cop, just lucky stop, good cop. And so it was through omission initially that he was lying to his supervisors, and then he overtly lied to the state attorney.